All right. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone can hear me just fine. Today is a very special day because I'm joined by a very special guest. Today, we're doing this episode. I believe it's episode 3 of the Live with a Pro. We're shooting this from Finland. We just had a very busy day with our guest here. We've been working hard on making some really good content for you guys, and yeah, today I'm joined by Topson. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hello. How are you guys? I'm good, thank you.
Awesome, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I just had a nice session of GamerzClass filming, and yeah, feeling good now. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been a long day. We've been recording the entire day. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about what they can expect from some of our content today?
There's gonna be a lot some pretty advanced mid lane mechanics and how to play the map and how to scale as a mid laner and how to be useful while you're scaling and being useful at all stages of the game and learning a lot about map movement and how to position in the map.
Yeah, definitely. I think when we started creating this class together, you told me that you believe that a lot of people don't really understand it really well because a lot of people either focus too much on the laning phase and then they kind of fall off later into the game.
Yeah, I think that's people have to find the balance of how to scale, but at the same time how to create pressure on the map and how to pick heroes for the game that make sense with your lineup and also make sense against their heroes. Like how some people might just only think about the lane, like how that's what matters for them the most, but truth be told, it might be 10% of what matters, and there's so many other factors that come into play when you should be picking a hero.
What are some of your thoughts on the kind of the current stage of the mid lane at the moment?
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 about it. I like it, and there's some things that probably I'm not so big fan of. I feel like there's a bit too much of the rune action and how pretty much only the bottle heroes are kind of the most strong mid laners nowadays. You kind of have to have a hero who can shove out lane and farm jungle camps effectively, so they can also control the runes and that kind of stuff. So it kind of makes the lane a bit more you just pick a hero who pushes the lane and then goes to jungle and maximizes and farms.
You have any favorite hero right now?
Probably my favorite hero that I like and is also strong, I would say, is Void Spirit.
Yeah, I think we all saw just how much you like Void Spirit at the TI stage. Definitely one of the games against Quincy Crew where you popped off. It's actually one of the games that we analyze in this class, right?
Yeah, so you guys should check it out. It's gonna be exciting and very nice.
Awesome. All right. I think we'll start taking some questions from the members. So unfortunately today we only have 30 minutes, so this is going to be a rather quick session. I believe our community manager Benjamin took a bunch of questions from members, so I'll be going through some of these right now. They're mostly only Dota related, so we'll start with those, and then maybe we'll try to bring some people on stage and give people a chance to say hello and kind of ask you something. And just because we have a lot of new people in here, I want to remind everyone the rules. So you only get one question, and Topias has asked us to kind of stay away from questions about his future and his plans, because there are some announcements coming from OG's part. So I will ask you guys to respect that and not ask too many private questions. with that being said, let's start with the first question from Oldie Boldy, who asks, how do you come up with your unconventional builds like Invoker, Meteor Hammer back in the day?
I think this comes from like my own read of the like Dota and like how I really want to like leave my own like touch in the game. Like I want to be like I want to have my own like style, and I want to have something. I wanted to have like a something that people will be like, wow, this guy is like different. We want him in our team. Like he seems cool, that kind of stuff. Because I feel like there's so many like amazing mid players who are really like talented on like mechanical side, and they're really good players, but they might lack a little bit of the like. They might be a bit like more standard. They might be just like they just copy some other pro and they don't have their own like view of the game. So I really wanted to just like have my own kind of thing that I believe in, and just believe in my own ideas.
That's really cool. Leaving your mark in the game. I kind of like that. All right. I have another question from Z Muffin Man, who is asking, what's better, focusing on dominating the opposing mid laner and shutting their game, or farming efficiently?
I mean, that's something that's hard to just answer like that. Of course, it depends on the game, and usually it's not. Very rarely it's just about shutting down the other mid laner. It can be many things. It can be about, like you said, about scaling, or it can be a completely different thing about getting a teamfight hero in the game or things like that. But probably we'll be showing a lot more about that in the upcoming class.
Definitely some stuff where I think in this class we tried to go through a lot of different scenarios and kind of give you guys like examples of when you should be taking which decision. So there's definitely a lot of questions about that. And I see Charlie87 has asked about some Void Spirit itemization. That's also something that we're talking about in the class. So for that, you will just have to be a little bit more patient and wait for that. But Og is asking, usually mid lane gets last pick in pubs, and he basically is asking, what is your thought process when it comes to last picking the best hero for the game?
I mean, pubs, yeah, that's true. Mostly mid laners get the last pick. And I guess the reason for that is the importance of the lane itself. That like if you don't last pick and then mid laner last picks, then you might get counter picked pretty heavily. And in pubs, especially if you have a rough mid lane, it can be really hard to get back in the game if the enemy is having like a really good game and is like running away with the game basically. So I mean, in pubs it's usually like if you're picking a hero that can be punished, probably you should last pick it. But if you're picking a hero that's like all around like decent and doesn't have any hard counters, then you can of course pick it earlier too.
Makes a lot of sense. Cool. I have another question here that I really like from Dorayaki, who's asking, basically, what's your perspective to PS? What are the main skills and attitudes that that a good mid laner player needs? Main skills and attitudes.
I mean, of course, you have to be like mechanically very skilled if you want to be, and smart about the mid lane if you want to be like really, really good at it. There's a lot of like really small details that the pros do in the lane to get a small advantages or things like that. And of course, you need to be kind of like you have to be always looking at like place on the map, because your role is obviously very important. You're kind of like usually you're kind of like the playmaker of the game. So you have a lot of responsibility in like the early mid game. Of course, it's depending on what kind of mid laner you are, but that's at least the type I play. So there's a lot of responsibility to like make plays happen during the early mid game and making space for your carry so he has a good game. So yeah.
Cool. Kizaru is asking, who are some of the best mid laners you had to face against, and kind of why?
I would say maybe Nisha and Nothing to Say. I think they're both just like this like machines who never really make like mistakes in a way. Like they play very solid. They play, and the heroes they play, they always play good, and they always find a way to like stay relevant in the games. And they're like just they're probably like the best laners also that I had to play against. So I big respect for both of them.
There you go. Never make mistakes, and you're going to impress Topson for sure. All right. Another question from some of our Discord members this time. Dota Jester asks, why do you like playing Monkey King mid so much, and what is like your main goal and game plan when things go your way?
I don't know. It just kind of happened. Like I think it was 2017, and I was still kind of low rank, maybe like 6K or something. And I saw people playing this Monkey King. Oh, they were playing it as a support, right? Oh, I think it was early 2018 or something like that. But it was mainly like played as a post 4, and I was just like thinking like, why are people not playing this as a core? Like it seems like an amazing mid hero. Like he has this long range, he has a lot of sustain, a stun, mobility spell, all kinds of stuff. And then I just kind of just started playing it, like first picking it every single game for like 200 games in a row or something almost. And I just climbed ranks like crazy, and I don't know, it just became my favorite hero out of nowhere. And it was like my best hero to climb rank also, because usually you have a really good lane and then you just like kind of just dominate the whole early mid game, and then usually the games just end really early.
I remember you had this crazy Radiance rush build.
Yeah, it's something I do against like some evil heroes. You just go Radiance and it feels really strong.
Yeah, not anymore though. I'm glad this hero's gone.
Yep.
Cool. Burger is asking, what was the hardest moment, like, or one of the hardest moments in your career? And did you ever feel like you wanted to quit the game?
Like inside the game, or just like overall, like along the way? I'm not sure.
Maybe
like,
both. Like, well, let's start with the hardest moment in your career. What would you say that is?
like in a Dota game, or
No, I think like throughout your career as a professional player, what was the hardest moment or like hardest thing?
oh, I mean, hardest moment to stay motivated, I would was for me when TI got postponed for the first time. That's like I felt like I had to do like another year of this grinding, and I felt like I wasn't ready for it. So that was like the hardest moment in my career for sure, to keep grinding for one more year.
Is there anything in particular that kind of motivated you or helped you push through, or?
I think it's a lot about how I felt like our team kind of, we needed each other to, and we already did like 1 year, and then I would have felt like super awful if I just left now and left them without a mid player, and they would have to continue find a new player and all that kind of stuff. So just the respect I had for my teammates and the commitment they've done and everything they did for me. So I just wanted to not like leave them like that, just like that.
What a Chad move, sticking it out, taking one for the team. That's a true team play right there. All right, let's do one last question from the Discord, and then we'll try to see if we can bring some people in. So Sid is saying that, okay, he's starting with saying he's one of your biggest fans and he loves watching you play. He says you won 2 TIs due to what he believes is your unique playstyle. But he also says that despite how successful you were at TI8, you were kind of flamed a little bit before, like the few months before TI. And he's asking, do you think there's room nowadays for like unique playstyles and that are still waiting to be discovered?
I think it's hard to say. Like, I think nowadays people are much more open-minded. Like, we got some new blood in the scene, and it's not just the same old faces always like switching between teams, and then they're like this stubborn old school players who are like, this is how you should play. And now we actually have, like, I think a lot of new players, and I think a lot of people kind of looked at our TI runs and they realized like shit, there's like these people who have a lot of new ideas and they're doing their own things. And I think a lot of teams wanted to kind of be like us, that they have their own style, and that's like something that will for sure make you a much more scarier team.
Yeah, definitely. I think OG, you guys definitely kind of defined a little bit the Dota 2 meta over the years, and of course people are looking to copy you and learn from you guys for sure. All right. With that said, we will now be taking questions from the audience. So if you want to have a chance to speak with Topson, please raise your hand. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get everyone, and I see I'm already flooded with hands. So I'll be trying to select some of you. I know some of you have been here before, so I'll try to give other people chances as well. And just a quick reminder of the rules. We will, of course, you get one question. Please respect Topson's privacy. And yeah, let's start with Voy Lucky. I'm inviting you to speak. You will get a button at the top of your Discord to join. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, hello. Sorry for my quality of micro. It's very bad.
Fine.
Okay, Topson, I want to ask you one question. When you lose meet an aggressive hero like 1-2 devs, what do you must first doing?
Let's say you're playing hero like a Tiny, who is really aggressive and really dependent on his tempo. Then it's kind of hard, of course. Like you kind of lose a lot of your tempo, and you feel like the purpose of your hero is kind of negated if you lose your lane too hard. So obviously it's quite difficult, but I think in situations like that, you kind of have to turn into your team and like kind of look elsewhere if they have kind of plays available that you can join, or like just try to find situations that allow you to get back in the game. Like, but it's for sure like a difficult situation to be in if you have a very tempo oriented mid laner and then you lose your lane too hard.
All right. Thank you for the answer. Just so you guys are aware, like after you ask your question, I'm moving you through the audience just so we make sure that we're able to get as many people in here as possible. So Kurt, you are up next. I have invited you to speak. We'll give you a few seconds to see if you're here. Hello, welcome Kurt. Your microphone is muted.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So when you're on a hero like Storm or Quap that rushes an Orchid, and you're up against another hero like Nature's Prophet, another Storm or Quap, Winter Wagon that also rushes Orchid, do you sacrifice your aggressive gameplay and go for Yules, or go the Orchid anyway and hope for a BKB after?
I don't think it's that black and white. You playing Storm or Quap that you buy Orchid. I think people have gone away from that quite a bit already. That you see Storms going Kaya BKB or Kaya Sanj and skipping the Orchid completely, or going Bloodstone BKB, all kinds of stuff like that. And for Quap also, I mean, yeah, the most common build is still the Orchid. But to answer the question, like I don't think you should think about having the Nature's Prophet like being the counter to you. Like obviously your orchid pickup is gonna be still much stronger than going for Yules and playing more defensive, and the orchid can get you a lot of kills, and even the risk of like, sure, you might get ganked by a prophet once or twice, but still the idea of like making your own play and being the aggressor is usually the better way to go with heroes like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kurt. Frop, I'm inviting you to speak.
Hello, Topson, big fan.
Hello.
So my question is regarding a previous stage of your career, but back before you got picked up by OG. You made a decision to move out to your brother's place to commit into playing more Dota. So what gave you the confidence to do that, to like get into the pro scene?
I mean, I always was like really into the pro scene, and I felt like I was quite good at the game. I felt in myself that, you know, I mean, obviously I'm not on a pro level yet back then, but I felt like I had something to give, or something that at least is worth a try, and my passion for the game also. And I always was supported a lot by my brothers. They all played Dota for a long time, and they were also like quite good. But then they were like saying to me like, "Yo, like, you're like much better, and like you really like love the game." And then they just like, my older brother just wanted to. He just like told me like, "Yo, you can come live at my place for a year if you want to try becoming a pro." And then I was like, yeah, of course, like super excited about it. So then I ended up doing it. Yeah, a lot of confidence from my brothers and friends that helped me for sure.
Very cool. Obviously, need some support from your family to make some sort of decision like this.
Yeah.
DPA Tranovis, I'm inviting you to speak. I'll give you a few seconds. Hello.
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 Oh my god, I'm on live with Topson. Hi, fan. It's really overwhelming. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, good.
No problem. Take your time.
So Topson, my question would be: usually we have seen this, brilliant plays. People talk about it, how you create space for your carry, and you rotate. So what's usually your game plan? I'm not talking about any specific heroes, but mostly, once you hit the rune timings around 8 minutes or so, going into 10-15 minutes, what's your plan to rotate? How do you think of making space for your carry? How do you think you are going to gank either on the off lane or pick up the opponent carry? What goes through your mind?
I mean, it's very game specific and hero specific what you're playing, and also the matchup you're playing in mid. Like some games when you're playing a really heavily losing lane and you feel like you're not getting much out of the lane, then you might just rotate really early. Like let's say you're playing some monkey against a Viper lane. Like if you get a lucky 6 mid haste rune, like most likely your best bet is just gank their safe lane and maybe get a kill. But like I think the meta is a bit different now in that sense that now you play all these heavy farmers in mid that kind of like gankers in a way, but they're also like flash farmers like Puck and Storm and Ember. Those heroes, like in a way they're gankers, but they also enjoy staying in the mid lane and farming the wave and farming the camps near the lane. But it always comes down to like answering if you should gank mid or safe lane. It also depends a lot. It just depends on the lanes for sure. Like if your safe lane is going really bad and they need some help, then obviously you should probably help the bottom lane, like the safe lane instead. Also looking at the enemy heroes, like if you're playing in some morph carry, probably you shouldn't gank the morph lane because obviously the hero cannot die. So you just have to like evaluate the situation, like what hero can I actually gank and what can I not, and if it's worth my time going there to gank, or should I just keep on farming and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that actually we looked at some of the games we looked at today. We hopefully try to answer this as best as possible with examples from main game. All right, cool. Heaven Queen, I'm inviting you to speak. We have about 5 minutes left, so we'll give people a few seconds. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
you big fan Topson. I'm really happy to talk with you. I'm a very big fan. The question I have might be a bit annoying, but I want to know the reason why this happened to you in international. Because your laning phases were really great. You always won your lane. And what happened to you in the international that OG got submitted? You know, I can't find the reason why you got deleted. Since the mid lane was always win. And yes, thank you.
I mean, it's always what comes down to like the team aspect, and obviously I wasn't the greatest mid laner of the tournament either. Like we all had our flaws, and as a team, probably we weren't like the team that like gelled together the best, and we didn't have our like the strongest ideas, and we weren't like the meta makers this TI. We were more like kind of trying to figure it out. Probably we didn't have enough time to prepare, and we had some other issues also going on. And as a people, also like we5 as a team we didn't get that connection that we used to have before. And I mean, it's really hard to get that, but we tried, but we couldn't really get to that stage of the level that we would be like kind of like one mind and one unit. We were still kind of figuring it out, so it definitely made the road much harder.
Right. Hopefully that answers your question, Heaven Queen. And OGG, you are up next. I'm inviting you to speak. I think we have time for one or two more. Hello.
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 Hi, Topson. Hi, Merge. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hear you.
So I'm a top 200 player at C, right? And I'm interested in joining the pro scene. So my question is like, so other than, climbing to top 1 rank, like what you did and then get noticed by OG, what other advice or path that I could take?
For me, what really worked for me is I think streaming is kind of like a good way that if you are regularly streaming and you manage to get like some viewers in it and that kind of stuff, it can definitely be helpful that you're noticed that way. But of course, climbing the ranks and hitting rank 1 obviously is like probably the best way to get recognition. Is that you're the rank 1, you're best of the region, and hitting rank 1 is definitely probably the best way. And of course, then having your own like spice in it, in a way. Like, of course, there are a ton of like talented players and stuff, so maybe something stands out from you that you're better than the others. So I think that's what a lot of teams are looking at, finding those players who are really like they really know what they're doing, kind of stuff.
All right, awesome. And I believe we have time for one last question. So Noose, I'm inviting you here. You're the lucky last speaker, unless you're not here, and then we'll. Oh, hello.
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 Hey,
Oh well, thank you. I would like to know what heroes you should have in your hero pool that compensate for like different weaknesses in your draft, and this was a little bit hard to phrase for me. Just give me a second. Which heroes you should have in your pool that make up for like different weaknesses in your draft is just a question.
Okay. I think you should have like heroes that are kind of like these semi-cores, like Storm, Co-op Ember, Holy Spirit, all these kind of heroes. And then what I suggest you also have a couple heroes that are more of these like kind of like a supportive in a way mid laners, like let's say like Pangolier and these team fighters that just kind of just make the drafting a bit easier. Like you bring a ton of team fight, you bring some but you should always play heroes that you like enjoy playing and you feel like you understand what they do the best. Those are the heroes you should always like try to get even better at those. But of course you have to have like at least 5-10 heroes that you know how to play. But it's yeah, I still think like you should always play heroes that you really enjoy, and of course you should play still the meta heroes, and you should enjoy playing the meta heroes. But yeah, it's good to have core heroes from mid lane that you like playing, and like semi cores, and then those less like greedy heroes like whatever it is, Puck, Void Spirit, and all these heroes. But yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I think like in the class, like we have this one specific game where you're playing Pangolier mid because you have like an anti-mage safe lane and an off lane Chaos Knight. So you chose to go with the more kind of like rounded pick that stabilizes the entire draft.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of questions that we didn't manage to go through, but this is all the time we have. I want to thank you one more time to PS for doing this, of course, and being here for our members and helping out and answering questions. I believe a lot of people, you made a lot of people's day today by just saying hello.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Of course, and super excited for the class coming up. We expect this class to be released somewhere around Christmas or before. Definitely this year we will be working our hardest to get it to you guys as soon as possible. Before we leave, I would just like to mention that if you are new to the GamerzClass Discord, make sure to go to the welcome channel and choose a role. I see a lot of people with no roles. Make sure you go and choose a role. If you're here for Dota, for FIFA, for League of Legends, make sure you select a specific game so you get access to all the other channels. As for what's next at GamerzClass, we have another live session with Kezu, I believe, next week, where he will be coaching some members live. So make sure you tune in for that if you want to see some more awesome Dota content. All right. With that said, thank you everybody for joining and have a great day.